Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuramitamidya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. So today we are going to start a new chapter. What is the name of that chapter? Or the chapter number?
15.
Chapter number 15. Yoga of the Supreme. Huh? The Yoga of the Supreme Person. Hare Krishna, please welcome. Thank you so much. Please come. Yeah, so just a small recap. What we have studied in chapter 14. Yeah, that's a very interesting chapter. We have already completed chapter 14. The three modes of material nature. Huh? So let's do a recap. So you can speak about it. What exactly you understand in this chapter, the knowledge you received. Material nature, about material nature, and the three modes. What are those three modes? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. No, this is not the verse number. We will start chapter 15, but I'm just giving a small recap. So, three modes we studied about. So, okay, I'll ask few questions. You can just answer whether it is in mode of goodness, mode of passion, or mode of ignorance. Okay. Knowledge seekers. Mode of goodness? Goodness. Okay, goodness. Procrastination. Ignorance. Okay. And helping others. Goodness.
Patient. Patient.
Passion. Helping others.
Goodness, but even sometimes
It may be
passion
mixed. They might be mixed also. Sometimes people help others, but out of passion, because of egos. No, they want prestige. They're helping. The job is good, but that is being done out of prestige. So it can be in mode of passion, goodness. Activity is goodness, but the person is doing is in mode of passion. Yeah, this is what the understanding. Activity is good. That is in goodness, right? But the approach is, the attitude is passion.
Prabhuji, इसमें ignorance भी हो सकता है कि
Yes.
if we are not supposed to help somebody
Yes.
and we do it, would that be ignorance?
By
also?
force, by some reason, maybe.
Yeah, maybe somebody is not involved in something good and we try to help him and facilitate that thing. वो ignorance तो नहीं होगा.
No, somebody. Let us come
मतलब
again.
कोई ठीक कुछ नहीं कर रहा है या कुछ ठीक नहीं सोच रहा, फिर भी हम उसको help कर रहे हैं.
No, from your point of view, because you are helping, you are in goodness. Other person, what they are doing, that doesn't matter.
Even if you know it, that's not really good.
No, that is again ignorance.
That's what I'm trying to say.
This is what we will study in Bhagavad Gita. Even if we are doing good, but we have to understand the situation. Is it really good for the person? Because sometimes we are doing good, but that might be bad. Like Prabhupada giving example, somebody suffering from typhoid, and doctor prescribed that no, don't take oily food stuff. But the person out of just crying, no, I need paratha, I need pakodas, and out of compassion you're giving them paratha. So you are showing compassion. You out of compassion you're giving paratha, but ultimately that is harming the person. So that is not real service. So this is what we have to understand. Okay, and too much sleep. Ignorance. And so many desires, unlimited desires to achieve passion. Fine. Okay. let me make it more complicated. uh, okay, not being on time.
For
Is it which mode? Huh?
not being on time for what?
Anything.
Intentional or
Huh?
unintentional?
Whatever is the reason.
Can be both patient and
Not
Huh?
not discipline, ignorance only.
Passion, ignorance. Yeah, ignorance may be there. Too spicy food stuffs.
Passion.
Huh? Passion, and sattvic food means goodness. Okay, so like this, we can see the three modes of material nature impacting in every aspect of our life. Our thinking process, like somebody thinking about too much of profit and loss, or too much envious about others. So we can categorize all these things: our thinking, our feeling, our living standard, our behavior. Everything comes in three modes of material nature. So that is what we had a detailed discussion about in chapter 14. And we could see that how every individual in this material world is influenced by the three modes of material nature, and because of that, the person is behaving in a particular way, in a specific way. So that is what Krishna is teaching, that whatever we are doing in this material world is influenced by the three modes of material nature. So if we are influenced with mode of passion, our desire, our activity will be influenced with that mode, right? Mode of goodness, then of course the activity, behavior, everything will be accordingly. So mode of ignorance, like laziness, madness is there, no purpose, meaningless life. So that is mode of ignorance. So this understanding, Krishna is saying, one who understands this knowledge is very important to understand. Once who understand it, once who practice it, will become liberated to this material world. Right? So first of all, he is suggesting us that, of course, the ultimate purpose is to get liberated from the three modes of material nature. Right? We have to achieve this transcendental platform. But how we can do that? What is the process? So at the end, last session we were discussing about what's the process to transcend the three modes.
Devotional service.
Devotional service. There's no other way. So many ways are there to get, means we will discuss even today. But devotional service, Krishna is recommending that this is the process to get detached or to get delivered from the three modes of material nature. And that is without achieving this platform, without being free from the three modes of material nature, we will not be free from sufferings of this life. Sufferings will always be there as long as we are working under the clutches of Maya, under the clutches of three modes of material nature. Sometimes happiness, sometimes sufferings will go on. So first recommendation is there, at least we should try to be in mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means happy life, peaceful life, satisfaction is there, peace is there, pious activities are there. So mode of goodness means happiness. Mode of passion means, Krishna is saying, misery, struggle, stress and anxiety will always be there. And mode of ignorance, we know, madness, laziness, no meaning, no purpose, life. So this is what we studied in chapter 14. Now, of course, to get free from this material world, we need to get free from the three modes of material nature. This is the conclusion, what we have understood. That without getting free, because Maya controlling us in this material world with the three modes of material nature only. So we have to get free from the material nature, and that process is devotional service. Now in this chapter, chapter 15, the yoga of the Supreme, now Krishna is going to speak more about material world and spiritual world. Because we must understand what is material world, what is the spiritual world. Then only, once we have real understanding, true understanding of these two worlds, then we will see which world to stay back. We have to be here in this material world, or we have to approach for a spiritual world. So this is what Krishna is going to speak about in this chapter. Because with the first level of a spiritual understanding means, if somebody is advancing in spiritual life means, should have very clear understanding about what is spiritual, what is material. Without having this understanding, no spiritual life begins. So first understanding is what is material, what is the spiritual characteristics. And once we understand, and then we start our spiritual journey. Otherwise, you will see so many people, they are working on mental platform, but they think I'm spiritual. Most of the things you will see, the things are going on mental platform. Some meditation, some exercises, just to give you some peace, some satisfaction. That is not spiritual. That is mental platform. Doing some exercises so that you can get some peace, mental peace. But we through Bhagavad Gita, we are understanding that mind is also a body. That is subtle body. Either we are working on mental platform or intellectual platform. But this is material platform. Working for body, mind or intelligence. That is material platform. So a spiritual platform means when we understand soul, spirit, and when we start working on that platform, right? So this chapter will help us to understand material world and spiritual world. So let's start this, and it's a beautiful chapter. We'll read the first verse, and even purport also we will read, because this first two shlokas we will study in detail, because the rest of the things we have been discussing for so long, so you have that understanding. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Madhashakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavid. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So this chapter is going to speak about Vedas, or what is the Vedic knowledge. What is Veda? What is Vedic knowledge? So in this shloka, this material world is compared to what? A banyan tree. Have you seen that? Banyan tree, you know that? And have you seen any tree which is upside down? The branches are downside and the roots are upwards. Have you seen this kind of tree in this material world? You must have experience.
Only banyan.
Huh?
Only banyan tree.
Only banyan tree? Upside down? Huh?
Water reflection.
Water reflection. If you go on the bank, river bank side, you will see trees. The reflection you see upside down. Because in this world, we don't have such experience, right? Only reflection. Reflection means we see the tree upside down. So this world is compared to a banyan tree which is upside down. What is the significance of reflection? If you see any reflection, what does it mean?
It's not
It's an
real.
image of.
Huh?
It's
It's
a
not
virtual-
real. The first point which comes in mind is
virtual.
that's not real. That's just a reflection. And what is second? What else comes in mind?
It's temporary.
It's temporary,
It's
okay.
upside down.
Light goes
I mean,
Huh? Means if some reflection is there, there must be some reality also.
Yes.
Huh?
Image
These-
from-
yes.
Means if reflection is there must be some reality also.
Yeah.
So this word is reflection of the spiritual world. This is what
Right.
Krishna is saying.
Right.
This is not the real world. This is just a reflection. Huh? So whatever Prabhupada is explaining, whatever is there in this material world, whatever different kinds of emotions, feelings we have here in this material world, relationships we have in this material world, or the different varieties we have in this material world, that is also there in the spiritual world. But then what is the difference? The difference is, this is reflection. Means it is not original. It is just reflecting. Love, so reflection means we cannot really get the what do you say, like means if reflection is there, or we give example of like if there is a variety of food stuff is there, and there is a picture of food stuff. So one is real, one is reflection, one is copy. So just by seeing, you cannot satisfy yourself. If you see the picture of varieties of food stuff, can you enjoy? Can you get satisfied with that seeing? No. But once you have real food stuff, when you eat it, then you can really enjoy, you can get satisfied. So that is the difference. So in this material world, because this is reflection, this is perverted form, we are looking for happiness. We want love. But unfortunately, because this is reflection, everything, it looks like it is there, but actually we cannot get it. Just like a mango tree on the bank of river, if you see somebody diving into the river and trying to find out mango from the reflection, will he get it? Never. He has to go to the real tree, then only he will get it. So this is what Krishna is explaining, that this is perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So everything which is there in a spiritual world, like love, affection, everything is there. But here it is perverted. Perverted means that is not, that is in, you can say, not in original form. Like in a spiritual world, there is love. But in material world, there is lust. That is perverted. What is lust? Lust is just opposite to love. So whatever is there in a spiritual world, just opposite to that we see in this material world. There is selfless service in a spiritual world. But here, selfishness is there. So this way you can see everything is just opposite. Maybe some reflection is there. Reflection means yes, some reality we'll see. But original, if you want to see the real thing, original thing, then we have to go to a spiritual world, or develop a spiritual consciousness. So let's read this paragraph, so that this is one of the big purport, but this will give us a detailed understanding. What Prabhupada is writing. After the discussion of the importance of Bhakti Yoga, one may question, what about the Vedas? It is explained in this chapter that the purpose of the Vedic study is to understand Krishna. Therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. So this is the first understanding. Vedas, Vedic knowledge, the purpose is to understand Krishna, to know Krishna. So one who is already in Krishna consciousness, one who knows Krishna means he knows the essence of Vedas. You need not to read all the Vedic scriptures. Simply if you know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are part and parcel of Krishna, means you have already understood the essence, the purpose of Vedas. The entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. Right? So like banyan tree, and all the different branches are compared to different planets. Like in universe, there are so many different planetary systems. We know that. So all these different universes are compared to different branches of this banyan tree. And we are just jumping from one branch to another. Sometimes in this planet, sometimes some other planet. The soul is just traveling from one planet to another, from one body to another. So this is, the tree of this material world has no end. And for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. Means there is no end, means if we keep on jumping from one branch to another, there is no end. And if we are attached to the fruits of this tree, then there is no chance of liberation. That is what life means. We will keep on jumping from one life to another, from one branch to another. The Vedic hymns meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of the tree, this tree. So the Vedic hymns means whatever teachings are there, Vedic teachings are compared to the leaves of this banyan tree. And the purpose of that is to help us, to elevate us to whichever state we are in. From there, all the Vedic injunctions, if you see, that is to help us to elevate from that state to the transcendental state. That is the purpose. This tree's roots grow upward because they begin from the Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. if one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it. So who is the topmost, what is the topmost planet of this universe? Brahma Loka, where Lord Brahma is residing. So this material world begins from where? Lord Brahma, he is the creator. He is the root. But ultimate source, because Krishna is giving that inspiration. Krishna is the first creator. He is the first creator. And Lord Brahma is the secondary creator. Lord Brahma is getting all the material ingredients and the process from Krishna. And then based on that knowledge and the elements, material elements, Lord Brahma is creating. So he, in this material universe, he is the root, he is the foundation, or the founder, you can say. He is the one who created this universe. So this process of extrication should be understood. In the previous chapter, it has been explained that there are many processes by which to get out of the material entanglement. And up to the 13th chapter, we have seen that devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the best way. Now, the basic principle of devotional service is detachment from material activities and attachment to the transcendental service of the Lord. So this is what Prabhupada is saying. As of now, whatever chapters we have done in Bhagavad Gita, we have seen there are different processes. And the ultimate purpose of any process, any spiritual process, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, the first purpose is developing detachment from this material entanglement, material world. But out of all these different processes, the Bhakti Yoga has been recommended because this is simple, easy to perform. There is no constraint, anytime, anywhere can be performed. No more restrictions are there. So the process of breaking attachment to the material world is discussed in the beginning of this chapter. The root of this material existence grows upward. This means that it begins from the total material substance, from the topmost planet of the universe. From there, the whole universe is expanded. So many branches representing the various planetary systems. The fruits represent the results of the living entities' activities, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. These are the fruits. Like Vedic scripture, when we read, there are 4 purusharth: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Why we are working? So these are the 4 results or the fruits. Dharma means all the prescribed duties we follow. And when we follow the prescribed duties, what do we get? Artha. Artha means wealth, facilities, whatever prosperity in life we get. It is because of when we follow the prescribed duties in the scriptures. So we get wealth, we get prosperity. And what is the purpose of getting wealth and prosperity? Kama. Kama is sense gratification. When we get wealth, what do? We enjoy. You enjoy that wealth. And finally, when we get frustrated, then what we look for? Moksha, liberation. So, frustration means it's a kind of realization. Means there are different ways of getting realization. One is like by hearing, one is by experiencing or seeing others, and third is by experiencing. So when sometimes people do not understand by hearing authorities or by seeing others, then they experience, when they get personal experience, okay, in spite of doing so much hard work, from so much after doing, still I'm not getting happiness, frustrated. Then they develop a sense of detachment. Oh, everything is useless. So detachment. But detachment, developing detachment to this material world and developing attachment to Krishna consciousness, that is real success. That is what the purpose of life. All these material universes or whatever is happening in this material world, it is very purposefully designed. We have to understand it. It is not meaningless. Sometimes people may say that why God created this kind of world? Why so many problems are there in life? No. Does he hate us? No. Krishna loves us. All these universal design or the activities happening in this material world, there is a purpose behind that. And the purpose is to bring us closer to him. Bring us closer to him. Like Krishna, whenever he used to go, going out with like covered boys and all the cows and everything. So while returning, when he was coming back, so he used to play his flute to call out all the cows. No, he used to play his flute. And when the cows, they were not returning, like few cows, when they were not returning, then he used to play his horn, buffalo horn, loud, more loud. Huh? And when, even after hearing those buffalo horns, I mean that if they were not returning, then Krishna used to take his stick and chase them. So different ways, but ultimately Krishna is calling out, come back home. He's calling out us. So sometimes through the message of Bhagavad Gita, sometimes through others' experiences, and sometimes hard knocks. When we get some difficult times in life, we realize that no, this world is not meant for this. And Krishna very clearly he is stating this. And this in this chapter even is speaking about it. We are looking for good thing. We are looking for right thing, but at wrong place. Like we are looking for mangoes. Mangoes means the same example I'm talking about. If you see the reflection of the mango tree under the water and you dive into it to get that mango, will you get it? Never. That mango is there and we are looking for right thing. We want mangoes, but that mango is not there. So looking for right thing at wrong place. So he is explaining, okay, now there is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upward, but there is such a thing. That tree can be found besides a reservoir of water. We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and roots up. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire. So what is the water of this material world? Where it is situated? The water is compared to desire. Why this material world is there? What is the root cause of this material world? Why Krishna created this material world? Desire. So the reflection of a spiritual world, that is on our material desire, because we desire to go away from Krishna, to live independent from life independent from Krishna, to lord it over material nature. That is the root cause. Otherwise we have our spiritual kingdom where Krishna, he is the supreme master, and every individual, all the living entities, they are serving Krishna and they are happily living over there. But envious souls, or the souls, they try to go away from Krishna, because Krishna then of course he is helping. So he created this world for this envious people. These are all philosophical aspects we have discussed in detail about, but we have to understand this is just because of desire. So that if we have material desire, then we get this material world. Similarly, when we transform this desire to a spiritual, we immediately come on a spiritual platform, transcendental platform. Desire is always going to be there. Either we have material desire or spiritual desire. The only change is we have to make it spiritual. Then we will be on transcendental platform. So desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it. So this tree, being the reflection of the real tree, is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world. The impersonalists take Brahman to be the root of this material tree, and from the root, according to Sankhya philosophy, come Prakriti, Purusha, and then the three gunas, then the 5 gross elements, then the 10 senses, mind, etc. So all these are detailed analytical study when we were doing which chapter? 13th only, yes? 13th only we were discussing about the different elements, how the different senses and sense objects, everything about this material nature. In this way, they divide up the whole material world into 24 elements. If Brahman is the center of all manifestations, then this material world is a manifestation of the center by 180 degrees. And the other 180 degrees constitute the spiritual world. So like if you see one circle, you divide in between. So 180-degree spiritual world, and just replica, reflection of that spiritual world is material
Prabhuji,
world.
what happens to a person if it has both the desires, spiritually as well as materially?
So we will be in between, like we have. In between means, of course, like we are practicing a spirituality, but time to time we are working on material platform, material desires are there. So yes, both things are going well on. Some spiritual benefit, some material benefit going on. It's a good question. Okay, let's quickly complete. So the spiritual world must have the same variegatedness, but in reality. The Prakriti is the external energy of the Supreme Lord, and the Purusha is the Supreme Lord Himself, and that is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Since this manifestation is material, it is temporary. A reflection is temporary, for it is sometimes seen and sometimes not seen. But the origin from whence the reflection is reflected is eternal. The material reflection of the real tree has to be cut off. When it is said that a person knows the Vedas, it is assumed that he knows how to cut off the attachment to this material world. When you say that you know the Vedas, then what Prabhupada is saying? You know the process to cut off this attachment. So, do you know the process? How to cut off the attachment to this material world? Devotions. From the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, we have been discussing this. So, means detachment to this material world is only possible when we are getting attached to Krishna, the spiritual world. Because only one way will not work. If we forcefully try to detach ourselves from this material world, that will bounce back. We won't be able to do that. Because if we want to be free from negativity, then we have to engage ourselves in positivity. Simply being away from negativity will not help. Forcefully, if we can try to be away from negativity, no, I'll not do this, I'll not do this. But if you do not have any positive engagement, then you will again do it, bounce back. And that is what Krishna is teaching. So one side, we have to develop detachment with right understanding, with right knowledge, and at the same time, we have to develop attachment to Krishna consciousness. Okay. So one who is attracted by the ritualistic formulas of the Vedas is attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the tree. What does it mean? One who is attracted by the beautiful leaves of the Vedas. Like we know Vedic scripture, Vedas, there are so many rules and regulations. And if you follow that, you get a specific result for that. If you do this, you will get this. If you do that, you will get it. So many times they are attracted with Vedas because of some result. They want to get some facility or some wealth, some whatever, health, beauty, power. So different rules and regulations are there. So one who is attached with this, what will happen? The same. The desire will never end. Keep on going. Sometimes this, sometimes that. So that is what mentioned over here. But the ultimate purpose of Vedas is not just developing desires, material desires. The purpose of Vedas so that we can, of course, we can fulfill our basic necessities and develop a spiritual desire so that we can be free from entanglement. The purpose of the Vedas as disclosed by the personality of Godhead Himself is to cut down this reflected tree and attain the real tree of the spiritual world. So this whole purport I read especially because to understand how Prabhupada means how Krishna is comparing this material world to a banyan tree. And why banyan tree? Why not other tree? Any reflection on this? Why banyan tree compared?
Because it's only tree which are upside down.
Many branches.
Branches.
Upside down?
It has roots coming down from.
Yes,
the
you see even banyan tree, you see even roots are coming from upward. You see, that is one reason. What another reason maybe?
Because of
It's very strong. It's very deep
extension,
rooted.
yeah, it's very extended or.
It's very much. You cannot find out where from the root. The roots are very much extended downwards.
Very hard to cut it.
Huh?
Very hard to
It's
cut
very
it.
difficult to cut. What else? Another name of a banyan tree is aswatha. Aswatha means which will not be there tomorrow. Temporary. Aswatha vriksha, banyan tree.
Oh, it is a
So-
temporary.
Sanskrit.
हाँ? Sanskrit word is aswatha.
Hindi is burger.
हाँ? हाँ, हिंदी में बरगद बोलते हैं उसको, but aswatha is Sanskrit word, and the meaning of this, if you etymologically if you see, which will not be there tomorrow. So Krishna, any analogy he is giving, there is a reason behind it. So banyan tree he is comparing because this material world is temporary. It will not be there tomorrow. So this is what the understanding of material world.
But they say, Prabhuji, the banyan tree stays for years and years.
Not compared to other trees,
Yes.
compared to
Comparison
others.
to
No,
others.
that is
Other.
what. Even this material world will always exist. This is also eternal. We know this, right? Material world is also eternal. It will always be there. But when it is called always being there means it is temporary. Sometimes it is manifesting, sometimes it is unmanifesting. But material world is always going to be there. So sometimes manifested, sometimes unmanifested. This is the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with the determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So about material world, it is very deep rooted. I mean, this is it's very difficult. How we can cut down? What is the tool to cut this attachment to this material world?
Devotion to
No, that is the process, of course, we are learning. Here, detachment is compared to the X of detachment. So, one should cut down this banyan tree or the material attachment with the X of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. And there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. So now Krishna in this shloka he is giving process. How we can develop, how we can cut this banyan tree. Like I said, not only detachment is not enough. So one side he is saying we should develop detachment from this material world, and at the same time he is saying one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. Which is that place wherein once you go you will not be back? A spiritual world. Yad dham paramam mama, yad gatva na nivartante tad dham paramam mama. Krishna is saying, my spiritual abode, once you return to this home, you will not take birth in this material world again. So one side he is saying develop detachment to this material world, and at the same time find out that place where from you are not going to be back in this material world, a place of suffering, and surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why do we want to go to a spiritual world? What is the need going there in a spiritual kingdom?
bliss.
Huh?
Become meaningless.
To get bliss? What else?
Love. Krishna.
Can't we get here in this material world?
Temporary.
Huh?
It's temporary here. Full of sufferings.
No, that is okay. That is means we want to go. We want to go back to home. Huh?
Permanent is only very spiritual world. Permanent.
That is permanent. Means we are going to enjoy over there, right? We are enjoying here. We came to this material world to enjoy,
It's temporary.
and now we got to know that this place is a place of suffering. We are getting frustrated. Let's go back home so that we can enjoy over there. Is it? Is this the reason? Huh?
Find mental peace.
Or getting freedom from the sufferings of this material world? That is the reason we want to go back home. What is the main reason? It may be a reason.
Krishna.
Huh?
Serve Krishna.
Returning to our true nature.
True nature. All these are different reasons, right? But ultimate reason. All these are good. We want to be free from the suffering of this material world. We want to go back home, back to Godhead. And Krishna is going to speak about what that spiritual world, the nature of that spiritual world.
We'll be
But
serving Krishna.
Serving Krishna. I mean, all these reasons you're giving, that is good. But the ultimate reason why we want to go back home, back to Godhead, so that we can serve. Because of enjoying propensity, we came to this material world. Again, this topic is something whoever have been very regular to classes. Point is, we all have this natural propensity to enjoy. Enjoyment is our nature. Without enjoyment, we cannot. Our existence, there is no existence. Soul means Sat Chit Ananda. Anand is an integral part of soul. But how to enjoy, where to enjoy, that is what we have to understand. And no, so like we are looking for enjoyment in this material world, which is a place of suffering. And the process we have adopted, that is independent from Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna, we have forgotten God, and we are trying to enjoy independently. That process will never give us satisfaction or happiness. This is what Krishna will speak later. That this process, being independent, means having our own rules and regulations, principles. Krishna is said will never be happy. So how to enjoy and where to enjoy, that is what Krishna is teaching us. So when we are in association or aligned with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or aligned, no, we are accepting Krishna means accepting his teachings, following his rules and regulations. And with that process, we can enjoy. And that process is a process of service. Satisfaction is only in service. Even Rabindranath Tagore, in one of his quotations, he is saying, when I slept, I dreamed that life is joy. And when I awoke, I got to know that life is service. And when I started doing service, then I realized service is joy. So service is our natural constitutional position. Somehow or other we are serving others, or we are serving our senses. So simply we have to redirect this service attitude to Krishna, to God. The moment we start serving God, means this is our natural constitutional position, we experience real happiness, real satisfaction, real peace. And once we start loving God, means automatically everything in relation to Krishna and in relation to God, you will start loving. You will start appreciating everything. So, ultimate purpose, either we are here in this material world or we are there in a spiritual world. The pure devotees of the Lord, they only hanker after service. Either they are in a spiritual world or in material world, their only purpose is to serve Krishna. And that is what Krishna is saying. They surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Surrender means, what does it mean? Hare Krishna, please come. Surrender means? Surrender means service. Surrender means service.
Doing without any expectation.
Yeah, without any expectation. Real love. Surrender means love. Surrender means service. These terms, we must be very, very clear. Sometimes when we hear surrender means, it looks like, oh, forcefully. No, we have given up. We have given up now. Surrender. Surrender means what? Hands up. Surrender.
Leave everything.
So this kind of, now Krishna is not asking for that kind of surrender. Krishna, when he is saying surrender means love. Surrender means service. So, and that's why even after speaking Bhagavad Gita, he is giving us choice. He is giving Arjuna a choice. Okay, now I have spoken about this. Now you decide what you want to do. He is not forcing Arjuna. Right? So he is just giving his opinion. He is just making him aware of the reality. Similarly, like here we are discussing about the Bhagavad Gita, whatever Krishna is speaking about this material world, this is spiritual world. We cannot force. We can simply discuss, we can understand what is. And it's all individual choices. And our life is a result of our choices. What choice we make, that is the result. So based on our choices, we design our life. So now, those who are free from the false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. So this is now the qualification Krishna is speaking about. Who can be free from the entanglement? who can go back home, back to Godhead. So all these are different qualities. Free from false prestige. What is false prestige? Huh? What is false prestige? False ego, false prestige. Huh? What is that?
I am the body.
I am the body. I am Indian. I am American. I belong to this caste. This is called false prestige. Means wrong identity. Identity means, this is very important subject matter to understand. Whatever we do is based on our identity. If we identify ourselves to this body, then everything we see or we do in this world is in relation to this body. Right? The moment I think that I'm this body, so anyone or everyone who comes in blood relation or who comes in relation to this body, I will say they are mine. And rest others, they're not mine. I mean, they are just, they are others. I mean, so we see everything in relation to our identity. So we have different identities, like identity of mother, father, husband, boss. Different identities are there. And when you wear the hat of a specific identity, you start acting like that, isn't it? I'm just giving a practical scenario to understand. When you wear the hat of a boss, then you start acting like a boss. And when you identify yourself with a mother, then your behavior, your thought process, everything changes. Yes? And based on that, so this is very important to understand. If we have wrong identity, so everything, whatever we are doing on wrong platform, wrong foundation, weak foundation, that will not make us happy. That is going to be wrong. So when we are living a life on material platform, means we have weak foundation. Because anything material, what we are learning here is temporary. Either it is wealth, our beauty, position, name, fame, everything material is temporary. And when we identify ourselves with these things, then we have to get shocked, because one or other day this is going to be finished. Our physical beauty will not remain for long. Our strength will not remain forever. One day we have to lose it. This will go away. So if we have identified ourselves with the things, material things, then we have to get shocked one or other day. This is the reality. So there are three. I'll just discuss one more point here, because this point, just let's make it more easy to understand. We have three kinds of identity. One is having, one is doing, one is being. Three layers of identity: having, doing, and being. Having means when we identify ourselves with our possessions. You understand? Possessions like my wealth, my house, my car. All these are possessions. When we identify ourselves with our possessions, this is having identity. No? So, and we know that any moment that can go away from us. So if we are living a life identified with such kind of thing, always anxiety and stress will be there, right? And doing identity, how to understand? Doing. I'm a sportsman, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, maybe any other different skills, career. Different skills we have. That is doing. Sometimes people identify themselves with some skill. I'm so expert singer, I'm so expert speaker. These are all doing. How long? Any moment it may go away. So something which is temporary, if we identify ourselves with those things, it means we are preparing for suffering. We are preparing for suffering, because that will anyway go away from. That is temporary. We have to understand it. And third is being. What is this identity? Being identity.
What you are. Exactly.
What you are exactly. And this, we have to understand how we can develop this being identity. What is the process to develop this being identity? What is being? First, let's understand this. What is being identity?
Daughter, father, mother.
Huh?
family relations, like
No, not that being. Again, that is a position only. This body is a position only.
Soul.
Like we are saying, if
We
we
actually
because
soul.
now we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we understand we are not this body, we are soul.
We are spiritual beings.
I am not this body. This body belongs to me. I am separate from this body.
So,
Is it clear? Even new devotees, clear? If I say that this book is mine, is this me or is it separate from me? Separate from me, no? When I say something belongs to me, it means I am different and the thing is different. When I say this is my body, what does it mean? I am different. This body is mine. I carry this body, but I am different. And my real identity, I am soul.
Spiritual being.
So that's why Krishna delivering the first knowledge in Bhagavad Gita is about soul. This is a great science. Once we understand, we will be free from all stress, anxiety, and we will have a real purpose in life, and we will have right approach to lead a life, to achieve the success in life. This one teaching will help us so much. So I'll give you another example. Being identity is developed based on the principle and values or the belief system we develop through atmosphere, through teachings. Like here in Bhagavad Gita, what we are doing? What is the purpose? What exactly we are learning here? We are learning a belief system. We have, as of now, we have a belief that I am this body and anything in relation to this body is mine. So I and mine conception we have. I, me and mine. This is the conception. And what we studied in Bhagavad Gita, that anybody having this material conception, I and mine conception, will never be happy. Will never be happy. And Bhagavad Gita is teaching us a different conception, that we are not this body. We are soul. We are eternal part and parcel of Krishna. We are spiritual. We are not temporary. We are eternal. We never die. And what are different qualities of soul? Soul, the natural quality of soul is service. So these are the real conceptions we are getting from Bhagavad Gita. If we do not have this understanding, people outside in this material world, they are simply selfish mentality. They are always trying to accumulate, or they are always greedy. They are doing so many things to just get. But spiritual teaching, how we can give to others, how we can contribute to the society, how we can contribute to the self and to the others. That is what we are learning. And this attitude only will make us happy. No other. Does not matter how much you have. If you do not have this giving attitude, contributing attitude, selfless attitude, we will never be happy. Because things will not satisfy. What will satisfy our heart is love, is care, is compassion for others. And that is what we are learning from here. So all these concepts, what is this? This is belief system. We are changing our belief system. And it's not just brainwash. Okay, now here we are changing our belief system. Means from, what is the topic today? Reflection and reality. We are learning what is right and what is wrong. What is reality and what is reflection. Whatever assumptions we have, material knowledge, material assumptions, that is reflection. That is not reality. That is what we are learning from Bhagavad Gita. So if our life is based on ignorance, if our life is based on weak foundation, we are bound to suffer. Any moment, the building will collapse. But if we have a strong foundation, this is the foundation of spirituality or spiritual way of life or spiritual consciousness, we will never be shaken up. In all situations, because external, either it is having or doing, these are all externals. And being means internal. Being, identity means internal. That is our principle, values, philosophy of life. External will keep on changing. But once you have belief in this system, because this belief, this reality will never change. And that's why you will see somebody living a spiritual way of life in every phase, in all situations of life, they are never disturbed. They are never in anxiety. Their only anxiety is to give this knowledge to others. Devotees, they are not anxiety for self. They are not having anxiety, oh, I do not have this, I do not have that. They are working hard day and night for one reason. Because they know that this is the only solution to the soul, suffering soul. No other solution can make you happy all mental intellectual adjustment is temporary, for some time going somewhere, some mental peace, but ultimately again the same. Why do we take holidays? Do we go to some picnic spots? Tell me the reason. Why do we, I mean, working professionals again, we take break and we go to holidays.
Change of scene.
Bring some change. Why do you want change? Means something which you do not like to do. That's why you want change. You take out some time. Let's do something else because I don't love that doing that. And once you, after again 7 days, 10 days, whatever, how long you can go on leave? You have to back. You have to be back. And again doing the same job which you don't like.
Boring jobs.
Most of the things, even if I ask all those activities to get relaxed or to get some kind of peace, what do you do that? Tell me, what are those activities you do to get peace or to get relaxation?
जो जिसको हम लव करते हैं, जो वो
हाँ?
करना चाहेंगे, जिसे हम पसंद करते हैं.
No, activities. I'm talking about activities. What are the activities you do to get relaxed, to get free from all anxiety, stress? What is that? You go out. What is it?
Whatever you like to do.
Whatever you like to do. That is one thing. I'm talking about activities. Okay, you do something you like.
Means reading, gardening.
Gardening you do. What else?
Reading.
Reading, good habits.
Listening music.
Reading is good.
But it can be
Huh?
either way, social media also.
Social media.
It is in your face.
If you see the research or the report, most of the people, I mean, either they go out for holidays, and either they sleep. Sleeping is also a relaxation process. They sleep, or going to movie. This kind of stuff they do. And if you see all these different activities, one thing is common. What is that? Disconnecting. This is called escaping mentality. Escaping from the problem for the time being. Because we think that if I escape from the problem will be solved. Listen, there's a kind of bird in Registan, in deserts. So when he sees some problem, just what he does, वो अपने सिर को ना उस रेत में डाल देता है. Not seeing the problem.
I think it's a pause. It's not escaping.
No, that is true.
I mean,
Taking a
there is
pause.
in which you would perhaps think better.
That is another approach. That is good approach. Taking a pause. This is very, very. Most of the time, by seeing, like these are like Mataji said, reading books. Taking a pause for reflection. This is very important habit. Very important. We must take pause. We must reflect in our life. Now, this teaching, what we are getting from Bhagavad Gita, based on this, we have to reflect. Is it really truth? Or is it, means whatever we are learning? So when we take some pause, when we reflect on this teaching, reflect on it in our life, then we will understand, oh, this is really truth. This is what happened as of now in my life. So now we will develop faith. So reflection, taking pause, reflection is a good way of life. Reading book means, again, this is for further advancement. But people sometimes, even most of the people you see, or if I'm talking about going for a movie or out of anxiety and stress, taking alcohol or doing lots of other kinds of intoxication, that is escapism. That is escaping from the problem. But that is not the real approach. So the point is, what we were discussing about that. What was the point? We go disconnecting. Of course, means simply escaping will not solve the problem. Problem is always there. So we have to take positive steps. Means yes, working with our true identity. That is what we were discussing about. And once we understood our true identity, and based on that, true identity and the true purpose of life, and based on that, when we define what are the steps or what is the process to achieve that purpose, and when we take those steps, then we achieve success and satisfaction. This topic someday we will discuss in detail, like once we were discussing about success and satisfaction. So this is very important topic to understand. What is success? how to define a goal. Because most of the time, like people in this world, they do first, ask later. But what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, ask first, do later. Asking first means first understand what is my real identity, what is my real need, what is the process to achieve that need, how we can be happy. All these things we have to. So we have to take this approach, understanding first self. I'm sorry, I'm just going. So, what is the time now?
It's 12:30.
Huh?
12:30.
12:30. Just quickly. So these are the quality. Yeah, we were talking about false prestige, illusion, and false association. Illusion, we know, ignorance. Huh? Those who are free from false prestige, number one. Illusion. What is illusion?
Brahm.
Illusion.
Perception.
I'm this body, that is false prestige, and based on that illusion, I can be happy in this material world. So many people tried. Maybe they could not try their best, but I will definitely achieve success. This is illusion, because this place is a place of suffering. And don't take it negative. Sometimes people say that, oh, so much is speaking about this world, so negative. So we feel that, oh, these people, they are always so negative about this world. This is reality. But at the same time, now we don't have to frustrate ourselves with this negative statement that this world is a place of suffering. Like I said, how we can take it? We should take this world as, like I said in the beginning, that this is design. This is designed in such a way so that we can progress. Just like hospital, just like jail. Hospital is there, beautiful, so many facilities, but that hospital is not to stay back there. It is there to get us cured, and we want to get cured and come back from hospital. Similarly, this world is not a place to stay back. This world is, because somehow we are here, so we should try to utilize the facilities here so that we can advance in Krishna consciousness. We can go back to Godhead. But as long as we are here in this material world, at least we should practice Krishna consciousness. We can develop that approach, that service attitude. So, and false association. False association means, what is false association? Bad association. What is bad association?
Bad company,
Galat
people.
company.
When you get influenced by a
Wrong company.
Wrong things.
Bad things, wrong
Those
things.
would stop you from pursuing your
Yeah.
spiritual
Advanced level, if you talk about further, like one is, we know that bad association means anybody who is teaching you wrong things. All those habits, bad habits, which is not helping you to develop your consciousness, purity. Yes, but when we are talking about here from a spiritual point of view, any association, maybe people are good, but they are not helping, they are getting you away from Krishna. They are getting you away from God consciousness. That is also wrong. Sometimes you will see so many even transcendentalists, spiritualists, in that they are though practicing spirituality, but their teaching will get you away from God. They will say there is no God. Everything, so many, you will see, they themselves will propose them as a God. There's no God. You just follow me. They say that there's no God, but you follow me, you will achieve liberation. Ultimately, they are becoming God. You understand? So even such teachings which is getting you away from God, that is false association. Any association which is helping you to develop faith in God, develop faith in process, spiritual process, that is right association. So who understand the eternal? Eternal. Now we understand that spiritual life, spiritual consciousness, that is eternal, but material world is eternal but temporary. That is temporary. Who are done with material lust? Who are done with material lust means, now could experience that this lust is the root cause of suffering. This lust is never going to be satisfied. It's like pouring the oil into the fire. Third chapter we had a detailed discussion about it, right? What is lust? Mahasano Mahapapa Vidyenam Ihavarinam. This is the greatest enemy of this material world. We think that we can satisfy our lust one day or another, but that will never happen. As much oil you pour into the fire, that much it will become more ferocious, more it will burn more. So this is the knowledge we are getting. Satisfying our mind, satisfying our lust, that is never going to end, and that will keep us frustrating. Who are free from the dualities of happiness and distress. Another quality, equipoised. Either good time, bad time, equipoised. Not disturbed. They know that it is temporary. Just like seasons are changing, happiness or distress will go away. Happiness will be there. So, they are equal in both time. And who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Unbewildered and surrender to the Supreme Person. These are the qualities Krishna is saying. Person can be free from entanglement and can go back home, back to Godhead. Now he is now speaking about his spiritual kingdom. What is the feature? Na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yad gatva na nivartante taddham paramam mama. He's saying the supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. This is very important, Shloka. So now we could discuss about the material world and the nature of this material world. Now Krishna is speaking about the spiritual world, his own abode. What he is saying? No sun, moon is required over there. No electricity is required over there. Because everything is self-illuminated. Krishna's bodily effulgence is there. Everything is self-illuminated. And it is eternal. It is not temporary. It is eternal. And those who reach it never returns to this material world. Once you come back to home, you will never be back to this material world. So anyway, we have taken so much of time. So now onwards, Krishna is going to speak about the transmigration of the soul. How come we came to this material world, and how we are suffering in this material world or transmigrating from one body to another. So this is journey after that. Means we must understand this journey, how everything taking place in this material world. So he's saying, Mame bansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. We are eternal fragmental parts of God. Soul means we are part and parcel of God. Like God has having qualities, Sat Chitanam. Similarly, because being a part of Krishna, being a part and parcel, we are also having the similar qualities. We are also eternal. We never die. Only we change the body. So due to conditioned life, what is conditioned life? Due to conditioned life.
Modes, effective modes.
Because right now, we are influenced by the three modes of material nature. This is called conditioning. Conditioning and liberation. So we have to understand. Conditioning means when we are working under the clutches of three modes of material nature. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. This is called conditioned life. We are conditioned. We are forced by the three modes of material nature to act in a particular way, to think in a particular way. Once we are free from the three modes of material nature, that is called liberated. So now Krishna is saying, due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses. So every individual in this material world, they are struggling, they are suffering. How many of you have this experience? Or you feel that you are not suffering? I was just hearing one story. There was a circus, and there was a long queue. So many people waiting for, and there was it was like one person one time. Means only one person can go inside and see the circus. So means one spectator only. So there were so many people waiting outside. So one person just went inside, and it was a dark room, and all of a sudden 2 bouncers, they came and started punching him, beating him, punching him, up and down. And Then he somehow he escaped from there. It came out, and outside people were expecting, oh, something must be good, great, and they were expecting, and they asked, what happened? How was it? So he thought, if I say like this, what happened with me? They will make joke out of me. Ah, it was great experience. Wow, wonderful. He went back. So another person, the person who was in queue, he went inside. The same thing happened with that person also. And when he came out, because the crowd was expecting something, he thought, the first person, he must have enjoyed. Maybe something happened with me only. But if I say, that is wrong. What they will think about. So he said, no, it was really nice, great experience. And this way, every individual, one by one, this is material world. Every individual in this material world is suffering, but if you ask, how are you? I'm fine.
That's a joke.
So if you introspect, you'll see every individual is suffering. Krishna is speaking about it. Manah shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Every individual in this material world, conditioned by the three modes of material nature, suffering by the six senses. What are those six senses? Mind and other 6, 7 other senses. 5 senses. Huh? Either we have physical challenges or we have mental challenges, but everyone is suffering. 3 kinds of sufferings we are facing in this material world. Adhidevik, Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik. Adhibhautik means sufferings from body. So many disease, problems we are getting. And Adhyatmik means mental problems. If physically we are fit, but so many anxiety and stress is there. Mental problems. And Adhidevik means natural calamities. So every individual is bound to go through the sufferings, because this place is a place of suffering. And once we understand it, then we try to go away from this. So this is what Krishna is saying. So we'll stop here anyway. And next shloka onwards, we will discuss how the transmigration is taking place and how Krishna is maintaining us in all situations. So we will discuss about. Yes. I'm sorry, though it started late, but though these topics requires lots of discussion, I request all of you be regular. Then we can quickly move ahead, because devotees attending regularly, they have all this understanding. So sometimes when new people are there, so I go again for the details. Thank you so much for you all joining. Did you like it? Do you have any